Thank you. This morning we will be in Genesis chapter 19, and we are going to talk about a particular subject matter that is connected with what we spoke of briefly last week. And the reason I want to speak on it is because it's becoming a more and more prominent issue in our own land, and it's encroaching upon who we are as God's people and how we need to respond properly. Bill C-4 that was just passed in Canada is a bill about conversion therapy. And ultimately, really, it's a bill about denying God's design, God's word, and also denying God's Son. And we need to see it as such. We are moving that direction in our own country because even in our institutions such as the military, it is now illegal to push back against any type of transgenderism, homosexuality, or any divergent lifestyles. In fact, our military even has suggested that they would pay for surgeries for transgender individuals, which is an astonishing thing, is it not? So I wanted to talk about that today and talk about how this bill actually bans religion and reason, and also it is trying to ban the Bible and even your brain. Canada is a picture of what is going to happen here when we completely give in to this particular mindset. It's in every area of our society. I would challenge you to tell me what area of our society that the homosexual agenda is not in. Please tell me. I would love to know that. There is something going on very wrong in a culture when homosexuality is perverted over God's design. It is a reversal of what God has ordained and ordered, and we need to approach that because we recognize that it's coming directly from the enemy, attempting to cause confusion not only in our lives and our institutions, but in our families, and certainly in our children. They have reached down now into our preschools, daycares, kindergartner classes, elementary school classes, and they're reaching into your home in every means possible that they can reach into your home to grab a hold of your children. I believe everybody wants their rights and their freedoms, but you can't even sit in the comfort of your own home, turn on a television program at 7 o'clock in the evening without seeing either a lesbian or a sodomite couple holding hands, right? Or engaging in some other type behavior with little kids sitting there. They are driving it home and making it a norm in our culture. You should be alarmed. If you are not alarmed, you are not awake. This is a wicked thing to promote this because it is promoting something that is not God's design. It denies God's word. It hurts children. It is not loving. It hurts families, and ultimately it destroys a culture. We now live in a culture in which there is a desire, and a strong desire, a compulsion, and a push for people who live this lifestyle and the transgender lifestyle to integrate themselves into the life of your children and grandchildren. And it's not innocent, it's not loving, it is violent hatred toward your children. And left alone with those children, they would do all kinds of vile things with those kids. I know right now that Pastor Noel is coming off as a conspiracy theorist and crazy. And let me add something to you. I am both of those things. Let's also recognize, too, we need to preach and teach in such a way in which they see the severity of the results of their sin rather than compromising with that and just patting them on the back and say, we get it, now just go to counseling. No, they need to flee from the judgment which is to come. That's how God deals with it. By the way, is homosexuality a sin worth laughing about? Because we used to laugh about it from our pulpits. We'd open up Genesis 2 and say, well, God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, and everybody laughs. Homosexuality is not a laughing matter. It's dangerous. It condemns people and it kills them. It destroys them. Likewise, as it was also in the days of Lot, they ate, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they built. But on the day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. By the way, Jesus is speaking right now. Even so will it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. In that day, he who is on the housetop and his goods are in the house, let him not come down to take them away. And likewise, the one who is in the field, let him not turn back. Remember Lot's wife. Jesus said that. that there is a payday coming someday. A judgment will be someday. We should not be so cynical to think that we can just keep going on and on and on in our culture, doing exactly opposite of what God desires for a nation or a culture or people to do, and think that there will never be a day of judgment. There will be a day in which the Son of Man will return, and he will destroy the wicked with the word of his mouth. Payday does come someday. You can reason away in your mind that you will never face judgment, that you can continue in your sin and in your debauchery and in your foolishness and in your filthiness. But I'm telling you, whether individually, as a culture, payday is coming someday. God will not be mocked. The Old Testament said that this particular sin was worthy of death, Leviticus 20:13.